Hey, look at this. He's dressed. That's because it's 3:45 in the afternoon, and my early morning video is now being done then, or being done now. Yeah, it's just been a bit of a busy day, and I wanted to do one because I won't be here. Maybe not here tomorrow and Friday and Saturday even. I'm away up north, so I wanted to do a video. Yeah, and today I'm going to talk about something that might be a little bit controversial. It's drugs. Earlier in the week, we watched the documentary on Netflix about how treating patients with depression with psychobilin, which is extracted from magic mushrooms. Yeah, it was really, really interesting. I've heard of it before, that they've used psychedelic drug therapy. Obviously not in the UK because the rules are set against it, but in other places. Oops, one of my hairs there. In other places to treat depression, and it does seem to work. I'm picking my words quite carefully here, but it does actually seem to work with people. But it's like taking citalopram or any of the other medications. It has to be a continual dose, a continual process. I think taking a dose once every 3 months, it's supposed to reset, rewire the brain, and then 3 to 6 months later you need another dose. So yeah, I'm pro that, and I'm sure the people on the documentary, they weren't being given, or it's like the CBD THC argument, they weren't being given enough to get high, just enough to frazzle the brain and reprogram the brain and all that. Plus there's something else as well, and I've tried to get it, but being in the UK we can't, and I'm trying to get Belushi's Farm up, and when it comes out and available, then yeah, I'll definitely watch that. James Belushi, brother of Jim Belushi, has sort of jacked in acting, and I'm going to open a cannabis farm in Oregon, I think, and he's having the time of his life. And the interview I read with him yesterday, he was waxing lyrical about how it may have saved his brother if it had been legal, and because Jim Belushi overdosed on speedballs, wasn't it? Heroin and cocaine mixed. Everybody who's lost to drugs is a tragic loss, but losing Jim Belushi was a very tragic loss. So yeah, this is purely my opinion. It's purely just an opinion piece, but I really do think that well, first of all, because drugs are illegal, let's rephrase that, because some drugs are illegal, the drugs that aren't taxable, then they're all lumped under one, and you've got opiates, psychedelics, I don't know what you call cannabis, what classic we don't fall into, relaxant or whatever. Got all these different drugs that have different effects on the body, all lumped into one. Those are drugs, those are bad. Alcohol's legal. Nicotine is still acceptable and legal. Over-the-counter stuff. We're also watching that thing like Dope Sick on Sky as well, about the opioid epidemic. So that's going to be an interesting one when we've seen more episodes of that. And the other thing as well is, where's the money going? So here's some real paper money. A low denomination note in the UK, a £5. Get you maybe a pint of beer, a McDonald's meal. It'll put a little bit of petrol in your car, hardly anything, but there we are. So you spend that on drugs. You spend a lot more than that to get drugs, but you spend your paper money on drugs. Now, if I was to spend this in Tesco's, it would circulate through the economy and come back to me. If I was to spend this on illegal drugs, then it might excuse me, it might circulate through the economy, but more often than not, and especially, you have all these cases of the Colombian drug barons shipping trucks and trucks and trucks through, and they're weighing the trucks because they're full of dollars, I presume, that weigh absolutely nothing. They're weighing the trucks to weigh how many millions of dollars are in each truck. Now, where does that money go? Because it doesn't circulate through the economy. I'll put this back, it's the only 5 we've got. So, you know, I think and I presume there is an awful lot of money just sat in container trucks in South America somewhere, just sitting there, not doing anything. It's not circulating through the economy, it's not being used. Now, I studied, as well as history in school, I studied economics. And as I said the other day, there is a difference between wealth and money. The money isn't circulating in the instance of the drugs. So where is it doing? What is it going? And is this one of the reasons why? Because you've got all these $100 bills sitting static, not moving, and then the American government are printing off the printing press, ka-chunk, 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 fresh dollar bills to go into the economy. But even though there's only a certain percentage circulating around the economy, when you actually look at the figures, they're taking both lots. The black, I mean, yeah, I did read somewhere once. The black economy is shops, mortgages, you know, your everyday living, all that sort of stuff. The grey economy is the drug business, the human trafficking, the arms dealing, you know, all the iffy stuff. There is more money circulates around the grey economy in total than there is the black economy. So the black economy money is like that, and the grey economy money is like that. That's a bit bloody weird to my way of thinking, isn't it? You know, is that why we are in this financial crash cycle? Is that why in 2008 when Lehman Brothers collapsed and the banks all started collapsing? Because, you know, we all know about HSBC and all the other banks, you know, laundering money and doing all iffy stuff and everything. It's something I need to look into more, and it's something I do want to look into more, but it's something that fascinates me as well. It's like the thing, I firmly believe there is enough money. It's just how it's managed. It's like, you know, the UK, we've got the NHS and the social care system and all the rest. I believe there is enough money in those systems, even despite what I've just said. It's just the way it's managed is why there's massive losses and massive falls in care and all that, because it's not managed correctly. Now, I may be wrong in that respect, but I actually do think I might, because having grown up and always not having had a lot of money, I've learned how to manage it and, you know, work with it the best I can. There's stuff coming out now. I wandered off the topic of drugs a bit, but, you know, about the awarding of a PPE contract, something worth about 40 million to a guy who had a pub. And it's been, the trail has been deliberately obscured. So you can't tell me, you know, if you're doing something iffy, and then if you're doing something innocent, you don't muddy the waters, do you? If you're doing something iffy, then the trail is a bit obscured. Yeah. So, my personal view, legalise psychedelics for the mental health benefits, if nothing else. And for the creative benefits as well. Legalise marijuana, it's more or less bloody legal. You know, European countries, parts of America, it's legal. You know, just go on legal. It was only made illegal because of William Randolph Hearst, a paper baron who didn't like stuff being printed on hemp. But the whole hemp industry needs to come back for the plastic hemp bottles, hemp rope, hemp this, that and the other. All that needs to come back. Anyway, be better for the planet and better for the environment. So legalise the hemp/marijuana THC industry. Legalise the psychedelic industry. I mean, this might upset a few people. I'd apologise if it does. But I remember once the heroin thing started in the Vietnam War. And soldiers were coming back and they were addicted to heroin. And they found out that if these young GIs, 1920, came back and they had a heroin problem, if they were surrounded by loving family and a support network, they could get off it a lot easier. If they didn't have that, if they were thrown to the street, and then that's when they never got off it. So, you know, we need to look into the rehabilitation programs as well. Anyway, a bit of a rambling one today, a bit of a late one as well, but I'm still doing them. Peace out.